Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to be going over, I've seen a lot of people asking in the comments, the production side of things, how to build your production step by step, um, things you could do to sort. So we're going to go over pretty much all of the production gear. We're going to show you how to build your wash plants, how to do certain things that you want to do for your certain kind of mines. So we're going to go over everything, what they do, and since there's a lot of new stuff in the updates, I figured it was about time that a new video got put out there. So we'll start with the basics. A lot of people like to use just the conveyors. Me personally, I like to use a hopper. So one thing you can do, right? So let's get a hopper and just a normal straight conveyor. So with these, right? So with a conveyor, so let's go, and there's a new building mechanics too, by the way, if you aren't aware of that. So with the hoppers now, you can, oh shit. So with the conveyors, you can build right on them. Not build on them, sorry, but you can mine on top of them. This has always been a thing. A lot of people are confused because it's boxed in now that you can't, but you still can. You could dig up the dirt and drop it. So I'll give you an example of that. Let me just spawn in a vehicle. So let's just say I was on top of it. You don't need a hopper no more. You can just take a pile of dirt, like so, and dump it right on it. And you can see it'll all just start to come out. You don't need a hopper, but that's just the way I do it. Now let's go over the hoppers. So the hopper is used to dump your material into. This would be your starting point, right? So you have your hopper, and you could do something fancy like I did. It just allows for no error, not dumping over the hopper. So you see how we have, this is the hopper here down at the bottom, and then we have this as our background. This just allows us to dump without having to worry of spillage. And that's all that is. And then you can build off of that, right? So let's just say, let's start with the sorter, actually. So the sorter is always going to be the first thing that you put down. I should have this already. So yeah, you got the sorter. The sorter will always be the first thing you put. You could put conveyors in between if you want. You don't have to. So let's just say we put this. Actually, I'm going to build this all in the air so it's easier for you guys to see. So we'll get some conveyor up. So now you'd start with your sorter. So your bottom level is going to be dirt, pay dirt, and I think coal. I could be wrong. Coal might go through the top. We'll test that here in a minute. So now you are going to take, let's get some angles here. All right. We're going to go this way. We're going to go up. And then you would put your wash plant because now this is where all your dirt goes through, right? Your bottom is where all the dirt goes through. Dirt and pay dirt, sorry. So once you put your pay dirt in, this will tumble. All the dirt and pay dirt goes down to the bottom. And it all comes up through here, through the wash plant, and then dumped out. You could always link up your conveyors later on, and I'll show you that on my setup over here that I've done. Now for your top layer, this is going to be all your heavier stuff. So like your lithium, blasted rock, anything that's not pay dirt and dirt, basically. So then this is where we would separate this one. Boom. And then we would go here. We'll do another one up. Go this way, just for room. Now, this is where we're going to go into, we're going to get a crusher. So the difference between the cone crusher and the jaw crusher is for blasted rock. Well, they're both for blasted rock, but this will turn all of your blasted rock into crushed rock, and then once it runs through the fractioner, you can get extra materials out of it. So if you're wanting to make gravel, though, the only way to do it is with the cone crusher. So you would take blasted rock, put it through the cone crusher, run it through the jaw crusher into crushed rock. Then it would go into the cone crusher to be turned into gravel. So like if we take a look at the store, we go production. So input blasted rock, output crushed rock. That's all it does. And then you got the cone crusher. Input crushed rock, output gravel. That's all it does. It's not how you get refined materials. The way to get refined materials would be through the fractioner. So input crushed rock gives you gravel, magnetite, copper, buex, and rhodium. The only thing with this is I don't know how to separate the gravel from all the other materials. You might be able to use the turmoil. Let's read it right here because I'm not 100% sure either. So any material. Okay, so there you go. You use the turmoil to separate the gravel from everything else. So the turmoil will separate any material that is worth selling, and then dirt, pay dirt, and gravel would go through here. But if you already have them separated at the beginning, like this, then you won't have to worry about any dirt or anything like that coming through your plant, regardless. So in a setup like that, we would go, let's get our jaw crusher. This will be the first thing to go down every time. This is always the first thing. So down goes that. And then depending on what you're going for here, you could go with the fractioner. Then you don't need the crusher, the cone crusher. Boom. Then you got that. And then you would put the turmoil to separate all your, that's the sorter. You put your turmoil to separate all your sellable materials and gravel at the bottom. Gravel is also sellable, but I use it for roadways. So that's what I mean by sellable materials. And that's basically setup. I mean, that's as basic as it gets. You could get really advanced. I've seen a lot of pictures of some really advanced setups. I mean, that's really, you don't need to go in depth any more than that. But so now we're going to go over, so this is a little more complex system. It's not really, it has all the same stuff as that, just condensed with buildings around it. And then I'll explain what these do and so on. So like I said, you got your hopper here. And as you can see, I don't have a rim around it. And look, you're getting material that spills on the ground. So that's why I do that rim thing that I showed. So first you got all your basic conveyors, your L's, all that. And then we go into the sorter, and I fell off. Okay, so yeah, you got your sorter. And then your bottom layer, again, that goes to the wash plants, right? So your bottom layer goes here and then into a splitter. So I'm not 100% sure if this will still have the same input on both sides as the center, so technically increasing production. I don't think it does. I don't think it does, but that's something you'd have to look into yourself. But yeah, so then you have your splitters, which power these 4 wash plants, which you don't need 4. You only need 1, technically, or 2 in this case, but 1 is all you need. I just do it for the looks. And then it comes down, and this is a merger. So it takes the 2, puts it to 1, and then same thing here, 2 to 1, because these are linked up as well. So now again, your top layer goes to your crusher, and then to your fractioner, and then it links up here again. And then it goes to the sorter again, because here I want to separate dirt from sellable materials, right? So all your sellable materials go on the top layer, and then all of your, so this is the turmoil, not the sorter. So your top layer is sellable, bottom layer is waste, so just regular dirt. And that's really, that's all there is to it. There's not much. You can get fancy. I've seen some guys get real fancy with their setups. Usually when I'm trying to do just a cone crusher setup for gravel, I'll do that. I'll do a totally different setup. Like I won't even have the pay dirt option just because I'm only taking blasted rock in. If you're worried about mixing your gravel with pay dirt, you could always put the sorter in. I'm not worried about it because I do underground only. But it's as simple as just getting rid of the fractioner and adding the cone crusher directly. No, let me see. Once you add your cone crusher, do this and that, and then that's all your gravel right there. And you won't get no extracted materials like sellable materials. You'll just get gravel. That's all you'll get. So if you're trying to make a stockpile of gravel on the ground, like a big mountain, so you could use it for roadways, this is the simplest way to do it, in my opinion. But if you're trying to get extra materials and whatever, you could do the fractioner and then the turmoil and separate it all that way. It's not needed though. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, so we got chutes. These aren't, they're not, in my opinion, I don't use them. They're just not really needed. But a lot of people use it just for the looks. So all it does is it directs your stuff right here. That's all it does. It'll fall right down right here. But even without the chute, you can still, you still don't, it all just drops. It doesn't go flying or anything like that. You don't got to worry about that. And now they added singles and doubles. All this does is it just allows for more options instead of only having fours. This way your stuff lines up when they're at different lengths, right? So like you look here, I've got a 2 coming off of the fractioner, or no, maybe it's a 3. Nope, it's a 2, because then we got the angle, and then we got another angle, which lines up with this, right? If I didn't put the 2 here, and we only had options for 4, this would have never lined up. So that is a great, like a great add-on. It's perfect. Let's see what else we can go through. I don't think there's much else. If that's the case, then this video will be done. Oh, they added a drop turmoil. So this is more or less just for looks. It is not for guys who like the realism. It is not really needed. So basically, your material comes in, and whatever, is this turmoil or sorter? Hang on. I'm all messed up here. Okay, so it's turmoil. So any material comes in, dirt comes down the bottom, right? And it just falls down. It doesn't go into a conveyor. So you would have to put a hopper underneath it in order for it to work. Right there. So now you have your, oh, that's not even underneath it, but let's just say this is the hopper, which it is. All your material would drop down into the hopper, and then it would get carried out this way. Simple as that. But yeah, if you want a more in-depth video, like of me building this whole setup, I could do that as well. But I mean, as far as the production goes, this is as simple as it gets. Okay, so now I've shown you how to build this little basic setup, and I've showed you this setup. We are now going to go into this setup. So this is an ugly setup. I did not take the time to make it look nice by any means. It's just functional is all it is. So obviously you got your hopper. It goes this way, up, and then into the sorter. And then we'll start with the pay dirt. Pay dirt goes this way, through the wash plant, back into one, and then to a turmoil. So this way all your gold and sellable materials goes this way out over there, and then just your normal dirt goes over there. And then for the crusher, your top layer, crusher, fractioner, and then to here. So all your gold from the wash plant comes here, and then all your crushed rock and sellable materials from that will come here, and then it all just comes down through one spout. And that's all there is to it. So if you have any questions or you want to see more in-depth videos of how to build this other plant over here, or if you'd like to see other designs, I can get other designs, and we can do that as well. But for now, that's going to be it.